Fellow Stoic, they never wanted you to know this. The moment someone stops valuing you is a moment you take back your power. In a world that constantly tries to define your worth through the opinions of others, it is time to flip the script. Today, we uncover the hidden truths of Stoic philosophy that reveal how rejection is not a loss, but a signal that you have finally regained control. When they decide you are no longer worth their time, that is when you have already won. This is your moment to understand that true power comes from within, from a quiet, unyielding self-respect that cannot be shaken by anyone's neglect. Watch closely, because what you are about to learn will change the way you see every slight and every act of disregard. If you have ever felt diminished by someone's indifference, then like this video and comment yes if you resonate with this message. Stay with us until the very end, because the revelations ahead are the keys to a power they never wanted you to have. Why people stop valuing you. You have felt it deeply, that subtle shift in the way people treat you, a quiet, almost imperceptible moment when you realize that someone once cherished now views you with indifference. In these moments of isolation, when you feel that the warmth of appreciation has been replaced by a cold disregard, it is natural to question your own value. Yet, the truth is that this emotional state is not a reflection of your worth, but rather of their inability to see it. You may find yourself wondering why. Despite all you give, they suddenly seem to take you for granted. It can feel as if you are standing in the center of a storm, with doubt swirling around you, questioning whether your light has dimmed or if it is merely invisible to those whose vision has grown narrow. Know that you are not alone in this struggle. Countless souls have walked this path, facing the painful realization that their inherent worth remains intact even when others refuse to acknowledge it. This moment of neglect is significant. It is the unveiling of a truth they had tried desperately to hide, a truth that your value is inherent, unchangeable, and far beyond their limited perception. The challenge lies in reconciling the hurt of a disregard with the undeniable truth of your inner strength. Often, when someone stops valuing you, it feels like a personal rejection, a dismissal that cuts deep, leaving scars that echo in your every thought. You may recall instances where a friend's indifference or a partner's cold silence left you reeling, questioning if you had done something wrong or if there was something fundamentally flawed about you. These experiences, laden with emotional weight, make it difficult to understand that their behavior is more a reflection of their own insecurities and agendas rather than a measure of your worth. It is as if the ones who once basked in the glow of your presence have become blinded by their own inner turmoil, unable to recognize the genuine strength and dignity that you effortlessly exude. The pain of being taken for granted can leave you feeling small, unimportant, and undeserving of the respect that should be your birthright. Yet, this struggle is not a sign of your failure, but an invitation to reclaim what is rightfully yours, a recognition that their inability to see your worth only underscores the extraordinary light you carry within. In the midst of this emotional turbulence, there is a divine plan at work, a preparation for transformation that will reveal the unyielding power of your true self. Lesser-known Stoic philosopher Frontinus once taught that the inability of others to value what is truly precious is not a shortcoming of the individual, but a failure of perception on their part. He observed that the qualities that make you invaluable, your wisdom, resilience, and authenticity, are like rare gems hidden beneath layers of mundane expectations, visible only to those who possess the clarity to see them. Frontinus believed that every moment of neglect, every instance where your worth is overlooked, is a crucible through which your inner strength is refined. This is not a punishment, but a deliberate process of transformation, a divine preparation that forces you to cultivate an inner reserve of self-respect and dignity. When they fail to recognize your true value, it is not a diminishing of your light, but a sign that you are destined for greatness, a greatness that thrives in silence and solitude, far removed from the shallow judgments of those who cannot comprehend the depth of your character. As you begin to embrace this understanding, tangible signs of transformation start to emerge in your life, quietly affirming the power of your concealed worth. You may notice that opportunities begin to align with your authentic self, as if the universe is rewarding you for no longer seeking validation from those who cannot appreciate your brilliance. Relationships take on a new quality. The ones who truly matter step forward, drawn by the strength of your silent dignity and the unwavering clarity of your inner vision. Internally, you experience a shift, a growing sense of peace and confidence that comes from knowing your value is not contingent on external approval, but is a constant, unalterable truth. It is like watching a phoenix rise from the ashes of neglect, each moment of disregard fueling the fire that transforms you into something even more magnificent. The Stoic principles at work are aligning the cosmos in your favor, guiding you to realize that the opinions of those who cannot see your worth are irrelevant. Instead, focus on the undeniable evidence of your own resilience and the subtle yet powerful changes that mark your journey towards a life of true, unassailable self-respect. This profound transformation is a testament to the timeless wisdom of the Stoics, a quiet rebellion against a world that thrives on superficial validation and fleeting attention. As you harness the strength that comes from recognizing your inherent worth, you begin to see that the disregard of others is not a burden to be carried, but a liberating force that propels you toward a higher purpose. Every instance where someone fails to see your value becomes a stepping stone, a moment of empowerment that builds an inner fortress of self-assurance. You learn to detach from a need for external recognition, realizing that their inability to appreciate your essence only amplifies your true brilliance. Like a majestic tree standing tall amidst a barren landscape, your roots of self-worth grow deeper and stronger, undeterred by the shallow judgments of those around you. This shift in perspective is transformative, allowing you to step into your power with quiet conviction and an unbreakable spirit. You begin to understand that their failure to value you as a gift, a clear indication that you no longer need to invest your energy in proving your worth to those who have lost sight of it. In embracing this realization, you not only reclaim your dignity but also set the stage for a future where your value is recognized by those who truly deserve to witness it. Every step of this journey, from the initial sting of neglect to the gradual awakening of your inner power, reinforces a profound truth that your worth is intrinsic and immutable. In the silence of their indifference, you hear a resounding message that you are not defined by their inability to see your true value. Instead, it is a call to stand firm in your own light, to cultivate an inner sanctuary where your strength and dignity remain untouched by the opinions of others. The process of reclaiming your power is a continuous one, marked by moments of quiet reflection and decisive action, a journey that demands both resilience and grace. As you navigate this path, you learn that the act of being taken for granted is not an indictment of your character, but an opportunity to rise above, to become the master of your own destiny. The emotional weight of their neglect gradually gives way to a sense of liberation, as you recognize that the only validation you truly need is your own. This realization is a powerful catalyst of personal growth, a reminder that every slight, every instant of disregard is a stepping stone to a higher, more empowered version of yourself. Comment worthy if you know that their disregard only underlines your true power, and prepare to discover the critical mistake they force you to make in the next segment. The worst mistake you can make. You wake up each day feeling the weight of rejection and the sting of neglect, wondering why those who once valued you now treat you as if you were invisible. In the quiet moments of solitude, when doubt creeps in and your heart aches with a longing for validation, you may find yourself desperately reaching out to those who have already cast you aside. The urge to chase after someone who no longer appreciates your presence is strong, a pull that makes you question your self-worth and leaves you feeling diminished. Yet, in this struggle, you are not alone. Many who walk the Stoic path have experienced the deep pain of being devalued, the bitter realization that your worth is not determined by someone else's failing to recognize it. This inner battle is significant because it highlights a universal truth. Your value is inherent, constant, and untouchable, regardless of others' inability to see it. When you feel abandoned by those who once held you dear, remember that their neglect is not a reflection of your shortcomings, but rather a mirror of their own limitations. It is precisely in these moments of isolation that the seeds of a powerful transformation are sown, laying the groundwork for a future defined by unshakable dignity. The struggle of chasing after someone who has stopped valuing you is a painful and all too common challenge, one that weighs heavily on both the heart and the spirit. It is easy to fall into the trap of believing that by pursuing the person who once adored you, you can rekindle what has been lost, that your relentless pursuit will somehow convince them to recognize the worth you know is within you. Yet every step you take in that direction feels like surrendering a part of yourself, a sacrifice of your dignity and self-respect. You might recall the moments when you lowered your guard, opening yourself up with hope and vulnerability, only to have your trust met with indifference or even derision. The emotional toll of such experiences is immense. The longing for acceptance transforms into a painful echo of your own doubts, and you begin to question whether your energy is being misdirected into a futile pursuit. This chase is not just about the person who no longer values you. It is a relentless battle against the internal narrative that you are not enough, a battle that drains your strength and clouds your vision of what you truly deserve. The heartache of chasing after someone who has lost interest is compounded by the realization that you are, in fact, giving away the very power that lies within you. Amidst this internal storm, there is a divine preparation at work, a process that transforms a very act of rejection into an opportunity for growth and self-mastery. Consider the teachings of Musonius Rufus, a lesser-known but profoundly insightful Stoic philosopher who believed that our energy is a precious resource, not to be squandered on those incapable of recognizing its value. Musonius Rufus argued that every moment spent in pursuit of someone who does not honor your worth is a moment stolen from the journey towards self-realization. He taught that the challenges you face, including the heartbreak of being devalued, are part of a larger tapestry of personal transformation, a crucible through which your inner strength is refined and your character is forged. His wisdom reminds you that the pain of chasing after those who no longer appreciate you is not an end in itself, but a necessary phase in the grand design of your evolution. In this light, the act of chasing becomes a misdirection, a futile attempt to fill a void that only self-respect and inner conviction can truly satisfy. The divine preparation here is subtle yet powerful, a process by which every rejected plea, every unanswered call, reinforces the truth that you are meant for something far greater than the shallow approval of those who have lost sight of your value. As you begin to let go of the urge to chase and instead focus on nurturing your own inner light, tangible signs of transformation start to appear in your life. Slowly, opportunities that once seemed out of reach begin to manifest with an almost miraculous regularity, as if the universe itself has started aligning in your favor. You notice that the relationships you cultivate become more authentic and supportive, connections that are based on mutual respect rather than fleeting convenience. There is a growing clarity in your decision-making, a sense of calm and confidence that arises from knowing that your worth is not dependent on someone else's acknowledgement. This shift is like watching the first rays of dawn dispel the darkness of a long, bitter night, revealing a landscape filled with endless possibilities. The Stoic practice of focusing on what you can control, your thoughts, your actions, your self-perception, begins to pay off, and you find that detachment from a need for external validation brings a profound inner peace. You start to see that every instance of rejection was not a defeat, but rather a stepping stone to a life defined by self-reliance and quiet strength. The world around you begins to reflect the resilience you've cultivated within, affirming that the true measure of your worth is found not in the eyes of others, but in the depth of your own convictions. In embracing this powerful transformation, you step into a realm of empowerment where the very act of not chasing becomes a bold declaration of independence. Each time you resist the temptation to pursue someone who has devalued you, you reclaim a piece of your inner power, a power that grows exponentially with every moment of self-restraint. This newfound perspective allows you to view rejection not as a personal failing, but as a redirection towards a higher purpose. It is as if the chains of dependency on external validation have been shattered, leaving you free to explore the vast potential of your own mind and spirit. The Stoic path teaches that your energy is a sacred resource, one that should be invested in pursuits that honor your true nature. By choosing to let go of the chase, you not only preserve your dignity, but also open the door to a more fulfilling life where your self-worth is defined by your own standards, not by the fleeting whims of others. This empowering shift is marked by a quiet revolution within, a steady rise of self-assurance that transforms every rejection into a catalyst for personal growth. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, rewards your courage with a cascade of opportunities and meaningful connections that align perfectly with your renewed sense of purpose. If this message resonates with you and you understand that chasing after someone who devalues you is the only mistake you can make, let this serve as a call to action. Comment Chase if you are ready to break free from the cycle of seeking validation from those who cannot appreciate your true worth. Embrace the wisdom of the Stoics and recognize that your energy is far too valuable to be wasted on the empty promises of those who have lost sight of your value. This is your moment to reclaim your power, to stand tall in the face of rejection, and to redirect your focus toward a future where your worth is defined by your inner strength and unyielding self-respect. Remember, every step you take away from chasing after those who do not value you is a step toward a life where you are truly free. Free to live with dignity, free to grow with confidence, and free to pursue a destiny that is entirely your own. The Stoic shift in perspective. You wake up each day with a constant pressure of feeling like you must prove your worth to a world that never stops judging. You lie awake at night, wondering if the relentless need for approval is what holds you back from truly embracing who you are. In these moments of quiet desperation, the criticism and fleeting praise of others echo in your mind, leaving you feeling small and unworthy. It's as if you are trapped in a maze of external expectations, unable to break free from the chains of validation that weigh you down. Yet, understand this, you are not alone in this battle. Many have felt the crushing burden of needing others to affirm their value, only to realize that the true measure of worth comes from within. The idea that your self-respect should depend on the opinions of those who barely notice your presence is a lie that the world desperately wants you to believe. This internal struggle is significant. It shapes your perception of yourself and often clouds your ability to see the inherent power that lies within you. In these moments of vulnerability, when the world's judgment feels overwhelming, remember that there is a path to liberation, a way to shift your perspective so that your inner light outshines every external critique. The struggle of clinging to external validation is a deeply personal one, imbued with emotional weight that can leave you feeling empty and exhausted. Every time you seek approval from someone who fails to see your true worth, you risk dimming the brilliant spark that makes you unique. You might recall instances where you reached out for a word of encouragement or a nod of acknowledgement, only to be met with indifference or criticism. Such experiences are not just minor setbacks, they cut to the core of your being and chip away at your confidence. The more you invest your energy in chasing fleeting compliments or avoiding harsh judgments, the more you allow others to dictate the terms of your self-worth. This relentless chase creates a cycle of dependency that prevents you from fully embracing your inner strength and autonomy. It can feel as though every bit of energy you give away is a fragment of your soul lost to the expectations of others. This is not merely an emotional hurdle, but a spiritual obstacle on your journey towards self-mastery and genuine empowerment, where your value should be recognized and nurtured by the inner voice that knows no external bounds. Amid the chaos of seeking external validation, there exists a divine preparation, an invitation to rise above and transform your inner world. Consider the wisdom of the lesser-known Stoic philosopher Frontinus, who believed that true freedom is achieved when you focus solely on what is within your control and let go of what is not. Frontinus taught that the opinions of others are transient, like whispers carried away by the wind, and that true strength comes from cultivating an inner sanctuary that remains undisturbed by the noise of the outside world. He argued that the act of detaching from the need for external approval is not a rejection of human connection, but rather a reclamation of your personal power. Every moment spent worrying about the fleeting judgment of others is a moment that could be invested in building a more resilient and centered self. Frontinus's insight offers a transformative perspective. Your value is not something that can be diminished by the lack of recognition from those who fail to see it. Instead, it is an inherent quality that only grows stronger when you nurture it in solitude. This divine preparation is a reminder that the struggle you face is part of a larger tapestry of growth, a necessary phase in the journey toward realizing the full extent of your inner potential. As you begin to detach from the constant need for validation, you start to witness tangible signs of transformation that reinforce the strength of your newfound perspective. Slowly, you notice that opportunities, once obscured by the haze of others' opinions, begin to align with your true purpose. The relationships in your life start to shift. Those who once demanded your constant affirmation fade away, while new, more meaningful connections emerge with individuals who recognize the beauty of your inner light. There is a sense of clarity that washes over you, like the first rays of dawn after a long night, revealing powers you never knew existed. Internally, you feel a growing calm and confidence, as if every external critique is losing its power to shake your foundation. It's like standing at the edge of a vast canyon, where the echo of your heartbeat reminds you that you are the master of your own destiny, and no external force can dictate your self-worth. This transformation is not just an abstract concept, it is evident in the way you carry yourself, in the quiet determination that guides your decisions, and in the deep, unshakable sense of peace that now resides within you. Your journey of detachment is actively reshaping your life, allowing you to step into a realm of empowerment where your inner light burns brighter than ever before. In embracing the Stoic shift in perspective, you not only reclaim your personal power but also set the stage for a life of profound fulfillment and authenticity. With every moment that you let go of the need for external validation, you create space for your true self to flourish, untouched by the shallow judgments of those who have long lost sight of your worth. This shift is a powerful act of self-affirmation, a rebellion against a culture that thrives on the constant need to prove oneself to others. You learn that by focusing on what you can control, your thoughts, your actions, your inner convictions, you can build an unbreakable fortress of self-respect that no external force can penetrate. The journey is akin to a metamorphosis, where the caterpillar of dependency transforms into the butterfly of independent strength, free to soar above the clamor of superficial validation. This process of inner transformation is not only empowering but also deeply liberating, as it allows you to recognize that your true value has always been inherent and unchanging. Your new perspective becomes a lens through which you view the world, a lens that filters out the noise and magnifies the beauty of your intrinsic worth, guiding you steadily toward a destiny defined by your own terms and a higher purpose that transcends the need for external praise. If this message resonates deeply with you and you are ready to embrace the freedom that comes with letting go of the need for others' approval, then understand that the shift in perspective you are experiencing is not just a personal victory, it is a radical, transformative step toward living the life you desire. Your journey toward detachment is a courageous act of self-love and an unyielding commitment to the truth that your worth is defined by the strength of your inner character, not by the fleeting opinions of those around you. In every challenge you face, in every moment of doubt, remember that you have the power to choose where your energy is invested. The Stoics teach that true freedom comes from the disciplined practice of focusing on your own path and not being swayed by the ephemeral winds of public opinion. Your shift in perspective is a beacon of hope, a reminder that the only validation you truly need comes from within, and that every step away from seeking external approval is a stride toward an unshakable sense of self-respect and empowerment. This transformation is both a personal renaissance and a declaration of independence, a quiet but powerful revolution that redefines the very fabric of your being. Comment shift if you are ready to let go of the need for their approval and step fully into your own power. The one powerful trick to regain your worth. You wake up with a heavy burden of expectation, feeling the sting of a world that demands constant reaction, yet deep inside you know that true power lies in what remains unsaid. In those quiet moments when the noise of criticism and judgment fades into the background, you might sense a powerful call urging you to embrace the art of strategic silence, a secret that has long been hidden from those who seek to diminish your worth. This silence is not an absence of emotion or a retreat into isolation. Rather, it is a deliberate and potent act of withholding your energy from those who would use your words as weapons against you. You may feel vulnerable and exposed, as if every unspoken thought is a risk. But understand that this very vulnerability is a gateway to reclaiming your inner strength. In the stillness of your inner sanctuary, where your truest self quietly resides, you discover that silence is a fortress built to protect the sacred light within you. In this moment, you are not alone in your struggle. Many have faced the harsh reality of being baited into conflict, only to later realize that the greatest victories are won by those who choose restraint over reaction. Your pain, your doubts, and your inner turmoil are seen and shared by countless others who have learned that the power of silence is a key to preserving their dignity and self-worth. Yet, the challenge remains that when someone seeks to provoke you using harsh words, feigned concern, or provocative insults, the instinct is to respond, to engage in a fight, or to beg for their approval. You might recall moments when a well-meaning friend's criticism or a callous remark from someone you once trusted stirred an immediate, burning urge to defend yourself. That reaction, though natural, often leaves you feeling drained and even more vulnerable than before, as if you have handed over your power in exchange for fleeting validation. The emotional weight of these experiences can be overwhelming. Every confrontation feels like a battle where your worth is on trial, and each response only reinforces the notion that your value is something to be negotiated. It is in these moments of conflict that you risk becoming entangled in a cycle of reaction and regret, losing sight of the truth that your intrinsic worth does not depend on anyone's recognition or approval. The ache of these encounters can echo through your days, shaking your confidence and obscuring the radiant core of who you are. And so, the struggle to maintain your composure while resisting the urge to retaliate becomes a poignant test of your inner resolve, a test that many have faced, and one that challenges you to find a better, more empowering path. In the midst of this inner turbulence, a divine preparation is unfolding, a subtle, almost imperceptible process that molds you into a being of unbreakable strength and quiet defiance. The wisdom of lesser-known Stoic thinkers, such as Arius Didymus, illuminates this path by teaching that the art of strategic silence is not a sign of weakness, but a deliberate, powerful choice to control your inner world. Arius Didymus once wrote that the measured silence of a wise person is like a well-guarded flame that burns steadily against the gust of external chaos, a flame that cannot be extinguished by the clamor of superficial judgments. He argued that every moment spent in retort or reaction is a moment wasted, an opportunity lost to fortify the inner sanctuary where your true self resides. His teachings remind you that every act of silence is a step in a divine plan, a preparation for profound transformation that awaits when you reclaim your energy and focus it on your own growth. In this grand tapestry of life, the struggles and provocations you face are not punishments, but catalysts designed to awaken your deepest reserves of strength. This divine orchestration calls on you to see beyond the immediate impulse to engage, urging you instead to cultivate a state of quietude that empowers you to transcend the pettiness of those who try to bring you down. Comment silence if you are ready to embrace the power of restraint, and let your silence speak volumes in the face of those who seek to undermine you. Every moment you choose silence over reaction is a moment in which you assert that your value is not for sale, and that your inner power is unbreakable. Stand firm in the knowledge that you are not obligated to respond to every provocation, and that sometimes the most eloquent statement is made without a single word. Walking away with power. You wake up with a heavy heart and a mind filled with questions about where you belong in a world that no longer seems to appreciate your presence. There are mornings when the very thought of facing those who have taken you for granted feels overwhelming, and the memories of past hurts echo in the quiet of your solitude. In those moments, you may wonder if walking away is a sign of defeat, or if it is a desperate attempt to escape a reality that no longer serves you. But know this, you are not alone in these feelings. Many have experienced the stinging pain of being undervalued, and they, too, have stood at the crossroads where the option to engage or retreat becomes a defining moment in their journey. The path of walking away is not about surrendering. It is about reclaiming your power with an unyielding grace that defies the superficial judgments of others. It is the moment when you realize that the opinions of those who have lost sight of your worth are inconsequential compared to the strength that lies within you, a strength that can only be preserved by daring to walk away from the toxic forces that seek to diminish you. The challenge you face in choosing to walk away is fraught with emotional turmoil and self-doubt. Each time you are met with cold indifference or subtle devaluation, a part of you feels compelled to fight back, to convince those around you that you are indispensable. The emotional weight of these encounters can be immense, as you recall the times when you poured your heart into relationships or projects, only to be met with apathy or, worse, active dismissal. You might have experienced moments when a friend's dismissive comment or a partner's indifferent gesture left you questioning whether your efforts were ever truly appreciated. This painful struggle is not just a test of your patience, but a trial of your self-respect. A trial that forces you to confront the reality that staying in a space where your worth is continuously undermined only erodes the very foundation of who you are. It is in these heart-wrenching moments that the true significance of walking away emerges. It is an act of profound self-care, a necessary step in safeguarding your inner light from the corrosive effects of neglect and disrespect. Amid this internal conflict, there is a divine preparation at work, a transformative process that invites you to see your situation as part of a grander scheme. Consider the insights of the lesser-known Stoic philosopher Heliodorus, who observed that retreating from those who fail to value you is not an act of cowardice, but a strategic maneuver designed to preserve the sanctity of your inner life. Heliodorus taught that the art of walking away is like a gardener pruning a tree. By removing the dead branches, you allow the healthy parts to flourish. Every time you choose to step back from a toxic relationship or a devaluing environment, you are, in effect, cultivating your inner garden, ensuring that your spirit remains unburdened by the weight of others' misconceptions. His wisdom reminds you that every act of withdrawal from negativity is a conscious decision to invest in your own growth, to nurture the qualities that truly matter. This divine preparation is a powerful reminder that the struggles you face are not random misfortunes, but deliberate lessons designed to refine your character, deepen your self-awareness, and align you with a purpose far greater than the fleeting opinions of those who have lost sight of your true value. Comment power if you are ready to recognize that your true strength lies in your ability to leave behind the toxic influences that seek to diminish you. Every step you take away from environments that do not honor your worth is a step toward a life where your energy is preserved, your spirit is nurtured, and your value is celebrated. This journey is not just about physical departure, but about a profound inner liberation, a declaration that you refuse to allow the shallow opinions of others to dictate the course of your life. Embrace the transformative power of walking away, and let it remind you that your worth is an unyielding force destined to shine brightly regardless of who attempts to obscure it. In closing, remember that your value remains intact regardless of how others choose to treat you. The Stoic approach teaches us that the moment someone stops valuing you is the moment you reclaim your power, that every act of indifference from them is a hidden victory waiting to be claimed. Today, we have explored why people stop valuing you, the critical mistake of chasing after those who have already devalued you, the transformative shift in perspective that comes from detachment, the power of strategic silence as a means to regain your worth, and finally, the empowering act of walking away with dignity. Your inner strength is not dependent on their validation. It is yours alone, waiting to be unleashed. If this message resonates with you, subscribe, share, and like this video, and comment "I am Stoic" if you are ready to stand tall and claim the power that is rightfully yours.